This is not just a black thing, folks. I just got fired. Companies have stopped hiring workers.
So I have this friend that got laid off today from his tech job, and he was obviously understandably upset about this. He was like, I can't believe the company did this to me. Can't believe this happened. And here's what I told him.
I was fired yesterday from my corporate six-figure management role.
I got laid off a few weeks ago from Microsoft, and
mass layoffs are happening once again. This Redditor says, still in a bit of shock. I got fired from my job for work performance.
For you, but I'm hopeful and just trying not to freak out yet. Have really missed making content, so prepare to be sick of me. I am gonna try to document my unemployment journey, but we'll see. But seriously, never get to it.
She's gonna document her termination journey. Folks, we're gonna see a lot of so-called influencers documenting their unemployment journey. Okay. Now they're trying to make light of it through TikTok and all that. But folks, these people don't understand the end of this. They totally don't understand. Because at the end of this, people aren't going to have the money that could go towards these influencers. It's not going to... People, that's what's happening. Money's drying up. What part don't they understand? And I'm going to just put out a little bit right now to show you what we'll be talking about on the other side. This is what this young lady, doesn't matter your color or whatever, in the United States don't understand. Okay? Let me drop it on you. America, all of America's industries has been sold to outside countries. All of them. The American politicians aren't standing and stomping for illegal immigrants who they call migrants just because they found a soft spot in their heart to care for the quote unquote underprivileged. I need y'all to know this. The reason why the politicians are stopping for the illegals and all these others, folks, it's because, listen to me clearly, it's because the outside corporations are forcing them. They have no say in the matter. What do we mean by that? Elder Rawchaa, what do you mean by this? Well, let me give you a little background. Usually what they do is they test the New World Order on black people, the tribe of Judah in America first, before they roll it out on everyone else, against everyone else. NAFTA, signed during the time of the Bill Clinton administration, the NAFTA agreement. Ross Perot was, stomping against it. He said, listen, if you allow this treaty to go through that Bill Clinton is pushing, it will be the end of upward mobility for every American citizen. Okay? It would totally lead the American citizens all together to a lower class, scrambling at the bottom like crabs in a bucket. Why? Because you're talking about 300 million people up against billions who are willing to work for less than those who are already here. Ross Perot said that decades ago. And what did they do? They tested it on us. We were telemarketers and all that. And they started outsourcing under the NAFTA agreement all those small customer service jobs They started going into India and into different poor countries, Taiwan and others, and cutting the contracts for a fraction of what they could pay us. And that's not the end of it. They stopped making products in America through this agreement and was able to make all these products lower by cutting a contract with China. See that? Now they can have cheap labor and don't have to pay the American citizens who they're looking to war against in the future. And they started off by testing it on black people. See? Now, let's bring it up to today, to why your politicians have no choice but to stomp for foreigners. Well, they did another trick on our people in the inner cities. They came with this thing called multiculturalism. Like there's some united front for all people of color. Well, no, that was phase 2 of starving the black population out, whom the governments deemed a threat. A threat to the New World Order, folks. So the next step was bringing in multiculturalism to make us believe that there was black or brown people who would align with black people in America and would help strengthen the minority base to help us out of poverty. Well, no, it was a Trojan horse. By bringing in all these students and others from the other countries, folks, under multiculturalism, it allowed the government, listen to me clearly, it allowed them to put representation as politicians into areas they weren't allowed to prior. Now the East Indian, the Persian, or the Arab, or any other people under the corporate alliance outside the country would have political representation in a place where we was the only what? We were the representation in the model minority, which means the government would have to continually look at what happened to us in slavery and all that, Jim Crow, civil rights, and they would have to what? Carve out a certain amount of the budget each year strictly for us. And our politicians would represent that. But if they bring in these outsiders, the Chinese mob and all these other people can bring in their children and become politicians under multiculturalism, and then instead of us, these politicians would seek to represent their own, taken away from the finances that was allotted to us under civil rights. Now, once they become politicians, think about this now, going back to NAFTA. They can now go back home with that original alliance where the corporations set up telemarketing services and all these others, and they can expand these particular companies where they came from. And by expanding these companies, the next leg in this is to pass policies where they could train them over there to work in all the corporations they were able to purchase over here, right from up under our noses, because their politicians now will now change the laws where they can now bring in their own people to work in America in the corporations they now own. United States sold off the corporations, folks, to foreign entities. They're now the people that are over Target and all the other corporations that we've come accustomed to believing and understanding. So they must send their people in for higher profit margins, knowing that they can pay their own people less money. That's why you got a foreigner over there running for mayor in New York right now. It ain't about him. He's a front man. It's attached to the corporations and NGOs and all of that offshore, where they can choose to hire who they want as long as they're let in the country. So it doesn't matter if you're black, white, it doesn't matter if you're Asian. If you are American born, you are the corporation's enemy. And at the bottom of it all is our people, the children of Judah. Right? So we're going to see a lot of what you're seeing here. The politicians came in to cut the contracts that will allow the corporations to hire the illegals. See? If they hire people who live here, it would cost too much and it would cut profits. So what did they say? Well, we'll send our children over to go to school over there, and they'll come back and set up corporations offshore, and then we'll change the policies in the United States that will undermine the people in America and will suck their treasury dry.
Attached to a specific job. I'm excited for what's next, terrified but excited. As much as this was my dream job, I thought the job I had before was also my dream job. So hopefully on to bigger and better things. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. I'm going to try to do more chatty videos. Time to file for unemployment.
Sometimes I get embarrassed that it's been almost a year after I graduated and I can't find a marketing job and I'm still working retail.
And guess what? Your degrees aren't going to mean anything. They're going to still require you to pay your debt that you owe to college. Okay? They're going to require you to pay that debt. See? And on top of that, your retail job will be gone too. All the retail is going online. And what they have to first do, they have to get people comfortable enough working at home. Okay? Because now they don't have to worry about the aggressive firings and all of that. Wait until Friday to give someone a severance. See? Because the data kicked back and told them the best time to tell somebody you kicking their behinds out is at the same day that they're walking out with a paycheck. Right? So they first need to get people accustomed to working home, because then they don't have to worry about the abrasiveness or the aggressive pushback that might happen on the work floor. All right?
But then I do my hair and my makeup every day, getting to work with the goal to be even.
Now, she's simple as a day's old, because if she had any sense, she would save her money. Okay? She's still worried about her makeup and nails when we are about to go into a full-blown series of The Walking Dead. And see, this is what delusional looks like. A woman who don't know where her next dollar is coming from. It's talking about her hairs and nails and what will probably be her future house. That car she's living in, and that's dependent on whether or not she'll be able to pay, and that doesn't get repoed. This is what delusional looks like. She believes that her education have brought her a ticket to prosperity. Delusion.
The next Alex from Target. look at my cute ass hair that I did today and compliment me.
Cute hair. When it all goes down, folks, it's going to be flies and everything up around her head. Okay? It's going to be, I haven't seen daylight in 7 days. And I hope I can't get out here because these hoodlums that are over here who've taken over this colony may ravish me and rip me apart. That's her future. With flies and everything and using a bag for waste. Praying and hoping that one day she can get near clean water to actually take a bath. That's the future.
Thank you.
Here's my spicy take of the day. I was just reading a New York Times article that came out earlier this week talking about the shut up and grind era in tech and how everybody is basically being forced to develop the AI technology that we all know the goal is for that technology to replace us so that these companies can do more layoffs and line their own pockets and make themselves, already some of the richest people in the world, even richer.
Now you know it's going down if Becky is concerned. You know it's going down. Right? So they're telling Becky it's time for you to train your replacement. So what Becky is going to do, because they're good at this. I worked in the corporate world. Right? It's time for them to push everyone that's up under them, even if it's black women, push them in front of the bus to be fired. What we're talking about? We're talking about a full-blown episode, live episode of Survivor. Right? It's about to go down in the corporations, folks. If not already. I know some of you may have testimonies. Bring it to the other side. Right? Now, last but not least. Woo! Lord, in the morning time, and speaking of, if you choose a watchman, someone who you would trust to guide you through hard times, right? Let's read Isaiah 47 real quick, where the Bible says, okay, Babylon, you're going down. Come on down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. They call her virgin daughter because for years, the pride of America, or the daughter of Babylon, was that she could beat anyone. She's not going to lose any children in war. The great superpower unscathed. And the Most High saying, no, come on, you Statue of Liberty. Come down and sit in the dust, girl. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. They're ripping her apart, folks. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. And you notice they have the Statue of Liberty in a harbor, surrounded by water. And the Most High is saying, guess what, girl? Pull up that dress and step down off your mantle. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. You know why? Because the children of Israel will not allow America or the world powers to sweep under the rug their destructive past. That's what's exposing Babylon. who prop herself up as the bastion of freedom and morality for the world. But the children of Jacob will not allow her to hide her past. And they hate it. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Oh yeah, folks. I want to say this also. Next week and the week after that, we're going to open up our Twitter space. And we're going to have a lot of people just filtering through with their opinions. Even if they want to disagree, jump into one of our rooms, and get the business. We're going to be opening up our Twitter spaces very soon. And you know what? I believe a lot of that is going to be not just highly educating, but, who knows who's going to straggle through some of these rooms. So get ready for this. But anyway, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, God said. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. That's right, the slaves and the 10 tribes, the indigenous people who were here in America before the Mayflower. The Most High gave us over to you based on the sins of our forefathers. But what? Thou didst show them no mercy. You tried to erase us. A matter of fact, you started telling everyone that Edomites from Poland and Eastern Europe were the Jews, while claiming that the black people were non-existent with no history. See that? You didn't show us any mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And you don't even give our elderly any peace. You just give them prescriptions. 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, America, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly. You see this woman out of her mind sitting in the car at the end of the world talking about her nails and hair. America has deluded these people who came from other countries. They bought in to the American dream. They should have took some keys from us. If anything, they should have came right over here and say, listen, what is the real deal with this place? And we would have told them. It's a dark place. It hides God's people. It kills God's people and uses the news to explain it off. It conspires against God's people. And if it does this against us, you coming in as an immigrant, what do you think they're going to do to you? Thou sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. That's what they think. They think they're going to just go on in their delusional operation called America Forever. This is what God is saying, though. But these 2 things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection. You will be women with no husbands, with no protector, just like America, have been totally exposed by the immigrants, and now she's naked without an protector. For the multitude of thy sorceries and the great abundance of thine enchantments, you witches and you warlocks. And it's talking about the whole satanic conscious community too, who hates the Bible. And speaking of sorcerers, have y'all seen my man lately? And that's why God said, what? God said what? God said through the prophets, the 12th verse, stand now with thine enchantments, your witchcraft, your libations, your astrology, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored in thy youth, if so be thou shalt able to profit. If it be so, thou shalt prevail. And the Most High says, go ahead, you stand in your witchcraft and see if that's going to help you. I told everybody who would listen about this demon right here from Philadelphia. He's over there in that castle in Ghana that I truly believe needs to be imploded. The place where they used to lock our people up as a tribe of Judah to sell us off to the world. I believe this castle they have in Ghana, it should be imploded. Okay? It's only showing forth and a constant reminder of our forefathers who were cast away and utilized to build Babylon. And look at this demon.
Bring forth the spirit, positive energy of our ancestors, and they cool off their spirits, and knowing that we are here to remember them, and that they have not been forgotten. Yes. First pour to Yahweh Ashe. Next we pour to the Lawya, the Abusum, and then to Ru, the Orisha, Obatala.
Libations. He's pouring libations in a place where our people, according to Deuteronomy 28, was taken from the shores of Africa into the daughter of Babylon to serve temporally until our spiritual revival. And that revival has what? You got it. Arrived. And this fool is over there funded by other people who don't have no sense. The greatest Babylonian con man in the history of cons. And now the Most High has pulled the rug from up under him. And it won't be too long, I'm going to tell you, it won't be too long that we will find out about the snow bunnies that he talk about he stay away from. It won't be too long before that's exposed too. That's why the Most High says, stand now in your enchantments and witchcraft and see if that's going to be able to help you. It's all going down, folks. Everything the Bible said would happen is going to happen. It's going down now. And only those who believe in the Almighty and is protected under Christ's hedge will make it through. Fools like this ain't going to make it. And those who follow people like this is not going to make it. The whole conscious community has been getting exposed for exactly what it is. Okay? Won't be too long before this guy is sitting next to so-called polite. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.